to be informed, truly informed, you have to kind of dedicate a certain amount of time. And I think this is actually a real problem where if you're not someone who is genuinely interested in, news and politics, you don't really care about putting in the time to be properly informed. For example,
Right.
if a bill is passed, you can read the actual bill,
Yeah.
like the whole bill. It's going to take like a good hour and a half or maybe 2 hours of your night. And so most people are like, give me a summary or let me just go to, like you said, the New York Times or CNN. But built into that is the bias versus if you're just reading the like a lot of the with the DeSantis don't say gay bill stuff, right? Where
Right.
just calling it that is biased to begin with. But when you read legislation, you're like, well, I don't really see the big problem with this. I kind of agree with it a little bit. So I think that's Americans, and you get it. You have life to live. You have families. You don't really have time to dedicate to really like reading 2-3 hours of legislation or getting into the weeds of certain news stories. Right. Sometimes with the police shootings or things like that, and because we don't have that time, and I think these news organizations know we don't have that time. They don't feel any shame in kind of leaving things out,
Mhm.
to get a desired result, so to
Mhm.
speak.
Yeah.
Um,
No, this is why on my show, when it comes to bills like that Florida bill, the parental rights and education bill,
Proper name.
yeah, the proper name. Um, I read the bills on the show, on my show. Just listen to yourself. I read the bills. Now, some of them are, you're right, they're like 70 pages, but oftentimes the first 50 are just the standard legalese that you have to put in every
Mhm.
bill, or you actually don't have to put those things in every bill. But they are in every bill. Um, and once you get to the meat of it, you can kind of skip ahead if you know what's just the legalese. But I don't leave people with excuses. I want everybody to at least have a button to press to send to somebody to be like, hey, I know you're not going to sit down and read this bill, but you can listen, and when you're in the car, you can listen to this chick read it, and she'll read the whole thing. And I read the whole Florida bill. I read the Georgia voter rights bill. I read the Texas voter rights bill. Like I read those things out loud on my podcast. Was it boring? Yes. But it's because I didn't want anyone to have an excuse.
Mhm.
You're right. People are busy. And the news cycle and our politicians depend on people being too busy to dig into the truth of the situation. And unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. That's just how things are these days. I don't know that there's certainly no short-term fix. Best we can do, I think, is be people like you and I, putting out content, giving people as much information as possible to go find, making sure that bad ideas are being responded to in whatever ways we see fit or can manage, and giving people the option so that when they want to come and be informed, they have the option to do so.